Hey, everybody. Today I'm going to talk about a topic that is near and dear to my heart because a lot of people wrestle with this. I have porcelain tile and I hate it and I don't know what to do. I really don't want to go through all the mess of tearing it out. It's going to be a big disruption to my home. People have told me I can go right over it with vinyl. What should I do? So, hopefully, I'm going to help a little bit with that decision. My name is Alan. I own Floor Coverings International in Mesa, and hopefully, my experience can help you in making out your decision. So, option one. Option one is to tear out the tile and just install the luxury vinyl. So the process is do the demolition work. Obviously, after you move all the furniture and everything out of the way, that demolition can be done either very manually with chisels and air hammers, or it can be done with a dustless setup where you have all the vacuums integrated so that you minimize the dust in the home. In terms of this, I would recommend if you're just doing a bathroom or you're doing some very small area, go ahead and just tear it out. But if you're doing like your whole home or the majority of your home, I really think the investment in dustless tile removal will be well worth it because that dust is going to get everywhere, up on the fans, up on the cabinets, inside cabinets, everywhere. So just something to consider. Once you get that tile out, then it's just normal subfloor prep as you would with any other vinyl installation and put the new luxury vinyl in. So, given that, what are the pros? Well, one of the things is the lowest finished floor height. You know, when you go over tile, you're going to be adding to that floor height. Best long term performance. You don't have to worry about anything going on with that tile underneath. It does eliminate grout telegraphing. There are other ways to do that, of course, but if you do have wider grout lines and thinner vinyl, it could kind of show through a little bit. And then it eliminates any issues with hollow or damaged tiles. If your tile isn't in that great a condition or um, it's deteriorating, in the future, it could have issues. When you're walking on that floor, you're going to still hear that hollowness underneath the vinyl. And of course, it allows for subfloor inspection and repair. You could have some big cracks running through your floor that you're unaware of because you didn't take up that tile. So, those are some of the pros to getting that tile out. Of course, the cons are that it does make the project a little longer. There's more dust and disruption. With the dustless removal, it's certainly minimized, but even then, you have to clear out the house and get everything done typically at once. If you have the dustless people coming back multiple times, it's going to definitely be more expensive. So, um, just in general, I think people stay away from this because of the cost and disruption. So, what's option two? Option two is to install a luxury vinyl over the tile. Okay. So, in this case, you want to evaluate the tile condition, remove any bad tiles, fill in that area. If you have bigger grout lines, you want to skim coat those grout lines. You want to grind down any high spots where the tile wasn't laid perfectly. Um, if there are areas that don't have tile, again, you're going to create a transition in that vinyl from going to high to low unless you fill in those areas. So maybe if you had a room with carpet, you might want to put self level in there to even it out with the rest of the tile. Um, Again, all of these things kind of offset the savings that you would have if versus doing the tile tear out. The more expensive going over the tile is, at some point you may have just done the tear out. But you can definitely, if you've got tile in great shape and you don't have big grout lines and you're going to use maybe a 8 millimeter WPC, maybe the prep work and going over that tile is going to be very minimal, and the additional expense is going to be minimal. So I do recommend going with a higher quality. If you don't do a lot of prep and then you put down some 4 millimeter vinyl over that tile, it's not going to be a very pretty end product. Of course, these pros are you can save some money, you can get this done faster, minimal demolition costs, less mess and disruption. So all of those things are positives. The cons, of course, you're going to have a higher floor height depending on how thick the vinyl is. That could be an issue. You do have that risk of grout line telegraphing if you don't do a good preparation on there. Again, you're not going to see what's going on in that subfloor underneath the tile if you don't tear it out. And, in a lot of places in Arizona, you've put the tile right up to the baseboards. And so to do a floated floor, you're going to have to put the baseboards over your vinyl. So either you're going to have to cut those baseboards out, or you'll have to put a quarter round up against the baseboard, which may not be as nice in appearance, depending on how tall the baseboards are. You may be able to pull that off with a shoe molding or a quarter round. So what are the key decision factors? Of course, your budget, the timeline, checking those clearances. Again, if you have to cut doors down, cut it, do any cabinet work, all of those expenses are going to offset the savings of not tearing that tile out. How many rooms do you have without tile? If you're floating floors to get everything level, again, that's going to be an additional cost to offset what you would have saved in tearing the tile out. And or in this case, you could put in transition strips, but then you're going to not have the beauty of that continuous vinyl look throughout the whole home. So those are things to consider. Again, the tile condition, the grout line size will dictate how much prep work you have to do. Think about the vinyl that you are installing. Again, I would go with make sure that your vinyl is thick enough. I recommend an 8 millimeter thick WPC. That's going to go very nicely over your tile. And of course, think about the long-term plans for the home. If you're going to think about doing any flooring in the future, you may tear up that vinyl at some point and want to do something different with it, and then you may have to deal with that tile that was underneath in the end anyway. So those are some things I think I would consider if I was making this decision. My professional recommendation there is tear out the tile for the best performance and resale value. When the budget dictates, time and disruption are a concern, certainly go over it. There's plenty of jobs that come out beautifully in going over it. I'm not going to say that it can't be done or shouldn't be done. I just think in the long run, if you can, tearing out the tile does work well. And the other recommendation, again, if you're going to go over the tile, please choose something thicker so that it just doesn't show anything underneath it, and most people wouldn't even know that there's tile underneath that vinyl. So I hope this has really helped you. Again, Alan Jones, Floor Coverings International, Mesa. I hope this has helped you with this decision, and certainly you can reach out to us if you have any questions. Our line is 480-590-6818. And I just want to wish you good luck with your project. Thanks for